Sorry about that, guys. I had to adjust that camera. Yeah, EQS holding support here. Good morning, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to another Pre-Market Live. It is Monday, November 1st. Hopefully everyone has had a fantastic weekend. If you didn't tune into the Sunday night scan last night, the mic has been fixed, so we are enjoying some hopefully crisp and clear sound. If you're not, let me know in the live chat, but the sounds should be fixed. So the only thing you have to deal with is maybe my voice not being A+, but welcome. Hopefully everyone had an amazing weekend, guys. I want to go over some setups for this morning. First name I want to go over, guys, is the Spotify. We've been swinging the 320 calls, or at least I have, if you followed me. Really fantastic move here in pre-market, guys. I want to look at the 5-minute briefly just to kind of show you. Obviously not a ton of volume, obviously, on this one, but really nice move up to that 297 level. If we look at the hourly, guys, we have obviously broken out over that 293 level, which was a huge level. We rejected it multiple times last week, and it was a really, really tough spot for us to break. We've broken over it in pre-market this morning, which is huge, obviously, because it's been a major resistance on our hourly time frame. So really, really nice setup for this going into this week. Personally, my targets on this are the 300 level, which is the next daily resistance, right? This is set up very similar to coin in the sense that it's got this big kind of triple bottom-ish, breakout kind of happening, right? We need to clear basically the 300 level. Over that, we have a lot of room up, back towards, all-time highs, which are in the 400 range, 387, right? But over the 300 level, shorter term for this week, what am I going to look for? Today, I'm going to look for a break of 300. Spotify tends to gap up off open. Calls should be nice off of open already if you're already in. We've already had a 9-point move or 8-point move now. You call it inverse head and shoulders. There you go. Off of the Morgan Stanley top pick for the upcoming year, right? Big upgrade also at Bernstein's. Really some positive catalysts coming out for Spotify. I think that, in the short term, like I said, for today, I think the 300 level is definitely doable. In reality, if we break over 300, I would not be surprised to see that 326 level come very quick. I think the first level we kind of test, though, is the 323 level, which I mentioned on the focus setup. The 321, 323 level, I think, is going to come pretty quickly. And then I think we obviously, could make a move very easily over, the 350 level in the coming weeks. For this week, I would not be surprised to see 323 to 330. As I think there's a lot of potential there. So really nice setup for this morning. This will be my top focus off open. I probably won't add a new position in this, but what I am going to look to do is, gauge, okay, if we get like a dip to 293 at open, I definitely would consider adding some just to show you what I'm talking about on a shorter time frame. On the 5-minute, if we retest this 293 level, which we just did, I think that we then make this kind of move, right, which I've talked about before is, we broke out this morning, now we retest, and then I'm going to look for a move up like this, right? So initial targets today for me are going to be, 305 to 307. I would not be surprised to see 310 plus, hence why I said you might consider the 310 calls off open. Spotify likes to rip off open, and, we know this, guys, on Morgan Stanley upgrades, and when Morgan Stanley tends to have a bullish bias towards a stock, we tend to see those stocks move pretty well, whether that's they have, some kind of algos bidding it up, or if we see just, a general market sentiment being positive off that, right? Obviously you and I are gauging it as positive news. It's always a good thing. So Spotify, definitely my top focus off open. I want to talk about coin as well. Bitcoin, nothing too special, holding steady in that 61.8 range. However, coin does have earnings. Nice little gap up this morning in pre-market. Need to watch this resistance level. at the 330 range, right? 327 is going to be big. If we can clear over 327, 328, then I'm going to start to look towards that 340 level. Sorry, guys, I have a lot of levels drawn out on coin, but, I would, over the, 328 level, I'm going to look for the 333 range, which is our highs from last week. And then over that 340, I've talked about this a bunch, but 340 would really be a huge breakout for coin just on the weekly chart. You could easily see 385, 400 over that. So, another name that I am watching, which should be nice that we were in over the weekend, or at least I was in over the weekend, was the LCID $50 calls for this week. Big gap up on LCID this morning. Actually touched the $40 level in pre-market. So we want to make sure we have that, marked out as our pre-market high. 40.41 was our pre-market high here, guys. Would not be surprised to see, 44, 45 here this week. 38.57 is the key support I'd like to hold into open if this flushes super hard off open, which remember, guys, when everything gaps up like this, oftentimes we see, a flush off open, right? Because everyone's like, well, everything's already up in pre-market, or you know what I mean? But that's kind of been the sentiment over the past 6 months. However, this is a totally new time frame, right? It's November now. We should be seeing more continuation. We should be seeing less fake outs, a little bit less trickery, right? But always be aware that we could very easily see a shove down, if we come up to resistance and can't break, right? So 41.60 highs from Friday, would need to clear that to see the 45.50 level. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's going to be a big key level on LCID is the 40.60 level. Over that, we should see, obviously, we come out to the weekly. I just want to point out the weekly here. We touched that 41 level on Friday. If we can get over 41, the reason we're seeing some resistance there is obviously we had a little bit of resistance there when we first ran up. If we can get over that 41 level, 42, as I mentioned, 41.60 is the key level. If we can get over 41.60, then we should see 44. And then, like I said, I think 44.50 comes pretty easily. I don't think we should see a lot of resistance in here just because our price action moved up and down super smoothly through these levels. And, so when the sentiment is bullish like it is now, we should move up smoothly through those levels as well. So really nice targets on Lucid. May take some profit off open just to lock some in. But again, really nice looking setup for this week. But a lot of that EV momentum, right, is contingent on our leader, which is the market leader here is Tesla, right? And so Tesla, as you can see, Lucid was up to 40.25 this morning, right? But the reason why, we saw those highs come was when Tesla this morning also hit, what did it hit? 11.58. Right, and then we pulled back, and since Lucid has pulled back about $1 also, so we need to watch this area very closely this morning, guys. If Tesla can get over VWAP at the 1141 level, then we can see a big move up on a lot of the EV names, so LCID, Solo, QS, etc. Right, should see some really nice moves up as long as we can get over those that VWAP level off open. So just keep that on watch. That I will be watching LCID and Tesla simultaneously off open, to kind of take a little bit of profit, hopefully on LCID on a move over 40. I'll definitely hold some calls as well, but even in this market, guys, even though it's been a little bit better, I still like to lock in gains whenever possible. So other two names I do want to mention quickly, guys. Obviously from Friday, BKKT, obviously I sold a bunch of my core position there. However, I did keep about half of my, I believe was it 55 calls? The $50 calls, excuse me. Reason being is I do think that this hourly, right, if we look at on the daily, right, we had a nice breakout, and really when you look at the shorter time frames, right, we had that move to 60 in after hours, right, on BKKT, and I still think that we end up filling the gap up. If you kind of can see, we're flagging off of this 38 level. So as long as BKKT holds the 38.40 level, I'm still very bullish, right? Because what I want to see is a move like I drew out last night on the Sunday scan, which would be consolidation here and then a move up over the 47 level. If we can get over 47, like I said, I do think we end up seeing at least all-time highs at 60. If not, I think we could definitely see the $54 level, which is where we saw a lot of, resistance coming down off of all-time highs. But 52, 54, 64 are my targets above on BKKT. I still think the momentum is very positive here. And I will mention, guys, that the volume is very, very good in pre-market, right? So we're seeing a lot of action on the level 2. If you guys don't have level 2 pulled up on Webull, I highly recommend it. You can see a lot of the bid ask. As you can tell, there's some really large bids still on BKKT. So that can mean someone's kind of soaking up shares. It can mean obviously someone's trying to prop the bid support, right, to keep it over 40. Obviously, we have a 4,000 share bid. And on a float like BKKT, a 4,000 share bid is a solid amount, right? And I still think the market cap fundamentally is relatively low here, kind of compared to the partnership it has with, MasterCard, right? So I think that, that we very easily could see a really nice 10-point move from where we're at right now. I did lock in profits for a reason, and that reason is what we're seeing right now is we have a 5% pullback here in pre-market. I still am in my EQOS calls. These are monthly calls, so it's a little bit less stress for me. However, I want to emphasize, guys, I don't hold a bag, right? Like if the trade goes wrong and it breaks key levels, I will exit. And that's just how I trade, right? And at least, 95% of the time. So just keep that in mind. It needs to hold 38.40. And really my end all be all stop would be under 37. I would exit, but I will give it that $3 move down from where we're at currently. But after that, I'll just cut my remaining position because I've already made a ton of money on Friday. I took a bunch of gains. The position I'm in now is actually a lotto position I entered after the original trade, right, guys? Like we've been in since 30s, I was entered at 28 on Friday and it went to 46, right? So already an amazing move. It was due for a pullback. It's kind of just retesting old resistance now. I would like to see it hold 38 ideally to see a bigger move up, right? So. Yeah, I still am in EQOS calls. I exited the 7.5 calls on Friday and then got in some $10 calls. I just basically rolled up, to kind of keep my exposure there because I think that EQS has a ton of room up. It's down obviously 7% right now in pre-market. However, EQOS has a ton of room up when you look at the daily and weekly charts, right? So, we've got, crazy room up to the $22 level. In reality, we saw our best weekly volume that we've seen, in maybe ever, right? And I think that part of that is because we're seeing BKKT have such good momentum. So I think that all the signals kind of point towards these stocks continuing, hence why I'm still in, right? So, yep, my Spotify is still my focus off open. If you're not in already, I'd be looking at the 310 calls. Any retest of 293 would need to hold. Right, so I want to see 293 hold, and then I think that this season ends up seeing 310. It moves a little bit weird off open, so you might want to give it a minute. But on days like today when we gap up big in pre-market, I try to just kind of pull myself back and wait and be patient for an A+ setup, right? So. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for open. I will go ahead and put a few more levels on the focus setup on Spotify, and I will see you guys on Twitter and Discord the rest of the day. It's the last day of the October Patreon, I guess, kind of. So some new people will be coming to the Patreon after today, and I'm very excited for that. So I will see you guys later today on Twitter and Discord. Let's absolutely kill it, guys. It's a new month, fresh start. Obviously, guys, A+ setups. Keep it in mind. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you guys later.